Hi folks, my name is Mitch, just doing another video on a game that I'm currently playing called SDS Grand Cross. Today I'm going to be doing a final Boss Gowther run in Hell mode using Lilia, King, Howzer, and Arthur on the sub. And everyone's going to be using C gear. Lilia's attack defense, I don't have an HP defense set for Lilia with Pierce on it. So, and the reason why I'm using this is because C gear is by far one of the easiest to re-roll the substats on. All you just need is gold and a little bit of luck and patience. Yeah, so it's doable. It's definitely doable for this fight. What we're going to aim to try to get is about 2.5k. Hopefully we'll break the 3k mark. A lot of it is dependent on the cards that are rolled. So that's a lot of RNG going on. And Blue King has HP defense, C gear as well, your standard substats, attack, defense, and HP. Howzer is attack and defense with Pierce substats as well. Arthur, he's not going to be involved in the battle. He's just there for additional CC. So we can break that 150k threshold in order to use Life Steal Food. And Life Steal Food is essential here just because it'll keep everybody alive for as long as possible. And hopefully it'll allow us to complete all of the achievements. So the mission is just clearing with Human Hero. That's where Howzer comes in play. Removing 10 debuffs is done easily with King, along with Lilia's on the cleanse. Everybody should have more than 50% on their life, and no one should die. Gonna start the fight, and hopefully this is like my 4th attempt. It worked a couple of times, but I have to re-record the video. But the last fight didn't work out too well, just because the cards that were rolled out were pretty bad. But that's how it goes. The reason why I'm doing this is just mainly because if you can get a 3k or higher, then you got a good chance of getting some pretty decent rewards at the end of the boss fight when they calculate all the totals. So the first thing that I'm going to be doing is targeting Gowther and merging any cards that are duplicates. So in this case it's going to be King. We might want to actually just keep it just because his debuffs or his debuff removal is pretty important especially in the first round. But I do want to get as much cards as I can for the next draw. So I'm going to be using King's single target. I'm going to be using the regular attack on Howzer. I'm not going to be using his Pierce attack because we're going to wait till we take some damage, and this way when I use my Pierce attack, it'll recover all of Howzer's HP. And then the last one is going to be a merger. So there's probably an easier way of doing all of this stuff. But what is usually recommended is try to get this boss down in phase 1 within 3 turns. The reason why is because once you get to the next phase, that's where you farm all of the points. And in the first turn, the 2 side mobs there, they take a lot of damage, so causing you to mess up or something bad to happen in the long run. It just basically, it's a higher chance of everything just messing up. Okay, so we're going to be cleansing with King. There's really not much we can do in terms of, actually, let me see. Single target, King, combine Lilia's cards. We're going to cleanse on King and use Howzer's Pierce card. Alright, so there's not much you can do in terms of trying to get rid of the ult from the first phase, just because it's not easily set up that way. And he doesn't do a lot of damage anyways, so it's perfectly fine. Okay, so I didn't get any Howzer cards, so he's taking quite a bit of damage. I'm going to be combining King just to get rid of his cards, because it's pretty annoying to have only King cards. I need to get everyone's ult up as quickly as possible. I'm going to be using Lilia to actually just combine. I'm going to try to hold out for one more round. And hope I get some Howzer cards to heal up. Okay, that's not too bad. There's an attack disable, which King can take care of that. Howzer's getting quite a bit of damage there, so I definitely need to heal up. I still need the ult gauges on Lilia, and I need the ult gauge on Howzer. So I need to heal up with Lilia and remove the attack disable. Attack with, actually, I'm going to remove this. We'll get Lilia's ult next. I'm going to move Howzer's card and then attack with Howzer's card to get him closer to the ult there. And this will also top him off. So we're okay there. Alright, so I didn't get any Howzer cards, unfortunately. I'm gonna have to reassess this to see what I can do, because I can't keep taking so much damage on Howzer if I really want to make sure I'm able to survive until the next round. So I'm going to be using Lilia's ult. I don't really have a choice here, because I need to clear up to make some space for a Howzer. I'll use King single target even though the taunt is up. Okay, good. I did get a Howzer card, so we're good there. I still have a King recovery, so I don't have to worry about the attack disable. If I use Howzer's card now, he's gonna kill the right mob, and all hell's gonna break loose. But both of those mobs there already have their ult gauges, so if I don't do anything, then I'm going to be losing in the first turn or the first round. It's already turn 6. I've been in this phase for far too long, so hopefully everything here will work out in my favor, and it'll carry me to the next area. Let's just do this. I'm going to use Howzer's card and then use King's ult. This should kill him. There we go. So we're okay there. And now I have a rank 3 Lilia card for ult gauge removal, and I have Howzer's ult as well. Alright, so we're going to open up with Howzer and his ult, and then use King single target attack, and then start, yeah, I'm just going to use Howzer. Actually no, I'm going to save that. I'm going to move Lilia's card. Okay, so we're going to be loaded up with plenty of debuffs, and this is where you can normally farm as much points as you can per turn, depending on the gear, of course. Better your gear, the more points you're going to get per turn, and that will determine how long the boss fight will drag on. The longer the fight goes, the more points deducted are going to be deducted from your total. So that's what we want to avoid. This is already turn 8. So the ideal spot is to finish the fight in turn 10 to 12, but we'll see how that goes from this point on. So I'm going to be using King's debuff removal along with his heal, King's single target. And what you want to do, you want to make sure is that you hit all of the mobs. The main reason why is because if you don't hit one of the mobs and it goes on to Gowther's turn, he heals up to max and it just drags on the fight. So, and sometimes you want to do that on purpose, because if you do that, then you can keep farming him. But we're going to be using Howzer's attack. If you want to minimize the amount of damage you do, then you'll use a Purify at the end of the turns. So then you won't do too much damage and you can keep farming the boss. Okay, so Lilia is taking a little bit of a beating. Gowther is going to be using his ult, so I want to get that removed. I'll be using Lilia's ult gauge removal. Actually, let's start with a heal. Actually, I'm sorry, a debuff disable. Then a Lilia ult gauge removal, followed by a Howzer AoE with Pierce. So you see there, it's a lot of points that just built up. That's why you want to use her at gold if possible, because they'll allow you to maximize the amount of points that you get. So we're going to be okay for this turn because he doesn't have his ult up. We're going to use King's ult to clear everything out. Combine some cards for Lilia. And then we want to make sure we attack everything. Oh, that's where King's card comes in, his ult. I guess we can use Lilia to move cards. And then we'll have Lilia's ult next turn. Okay, so we are on turn 10. And we're okay right now. There's a Howzer, but that card would have D-ranked any skills that you use, so I'm glad he didn't have any rank 2 cards. So I'm going to use the single target attack. Actually, no, I'm going to be using the debuff removal from King. Then we're going to be using ults. And then we're going to be using Howzer's Pierce card. Alright, so we're getting Gowther chipped away here, which is good. Getting close to finishing off the fight. They love to give me those King cards, definitely. Alright, we're going to need to remove the ult gauge again from Gowther. Okay, and then use Howzer's AoE and then King's single target attack. I'm assuming that doesn't kill him. I think, but in the event that it does, that should be fine. We'll see what happens. This will have everybody at over 50% HP anyway, so it's fine. Oh, no, we're good. Alright, we got one more turn. And we're just gonna nuke into everything. Which is pretty good because we just got disabled. And we can remove all of that with King. And we can heal up with Lilia. And then we can nuke with Howzer. Alright, and that's the end of the fight. Let's see what type of points we get. We are in turn 13, so that's actually not too bad. The RNG cards could have been a little bit better, but it is what it is. Howzer, for some odd reason, is still standing in the background, but whatever. And we got 2.9, actually higher than what we were aiming for 2.5. We didn't get close to the 3K that I was hoping to get, but again, this is all C gear. If you have anything higher than that, then you should be doing pretty well, getting those points and hopefully scoring high enough and staying there high enough to get some pretty decent rewards. So let's take a look. Yeah, turns used was 13 and it's at 1099. So that's why you want to try to capitalize that. I think at turn 10 it was at 666 or something like that. So that's why you want to try to finish off the fight unless you can do a lot of damage to the boss and then keep accumulating the points per turn. So yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Thanks again for watching and take care.